I think it's probably my go-to for the Scorpius at this point. Oh, wow. Okay then. It takes like 1 second of pumping power to weapons to get a decent charge to attack again. Yeah, that Hurricane was much quicker to kill than the other one we tried earlier. Although I did manage to take out this guy's engines, and he's having a lot of trouble on the ground right now. Yeah, you can get the charge back in these things really fast. And each one we eliminate gives us a little bit more freedom to operate. Look at him go. Nice. So I think today we're going to look at a loadout for the Scorpius. Of course, we have the nice white, orange, and black paint that they've come out with as well. I like the contrast on the Scorpius with that. But what we're going to experiment here as far as the weapon loadout goes for the pilot is we've equipped 4 FL-22 laser cannons. And the FL-22s are gimbaled size 2s instead of fixed size 3s that we could mount on the Scorpius. Now, the reason for that is due to the FL-22s compared to other size 2 cannons have slightly different stats. Most of the weapons among different classes and sizes have pretty much nearly identical stats, but there are some in each category that have things that are still slightly different. The FL-22s have much better performance when it comes to the drain on the capacitor, which means they get more shots. And because they get more shots, that means the sustained damage of having these on here is single-digit difference between the sustained damage of having size 3s. So we're getting the advantage of gimbals, and we're not really losing out on any sustained damage. And if someone is evading your gimbal movement, you can always lock the gimbal forward and not lose out there either. So let's get in and let's start shooting some things. Alright, so the M4s give us 46 shots apiece. And that's what the damage calculator says over time. Yeah, so see, we have 57 shots each on the FL-22s. And when we put them in stagger mode on the Scorpius, we get the X-wing firing pattern. The other thing we're going to do with these cannons is, thanks to a increased firing rate, we will also stagger them. That is, increased fire rates compared to larger cannons, which means we can saturate the area with firepower more easily, negating some of the disadvantages from going with cannons. Cannons are also more efficient on the power system and the capacitor, so we don't have to worry about adding power to weapons as frequently as we would if we were managing repeaters. The disadvantage of cannons, of course, is their velocity and lower range. Alright, what do we got here? Freelancer miss. Oh, wow. Okay then. Oh, we're getting some jumpiness. Look at him tumble. Well, according to the MFD, we're damaged, but there's no damage. Back to Hurston. Or, I mean, how much the repair bill is. Just where there's no physical indication of damage. I guess it can't be too bad, even though it calls it out. That was pretty perfect for a rolling landing. That was... Look at that. That was... Doesn't get much better than that. Slightly off to the right. And a little long, but... Thank you. I like that acceleration limiter. Manual control of it really helps with the landings. probably one of the few people who actually liked what they were going for with hover mode. I like to see a little bit more flight. Not too much more, but a little bit more. Valkyrie, Valkyrie, Valkyrie. 3 Valkyries. That's a lot of turrets. I have to say, I like the way the Scorpius moves through atmosphere for the most part. It does hit a pure yaw limit. You can see there that it won't, at high speeds, turn at yaw. I find the best ship for that is to turn at speeds is the Saber. And the Scorpius is actually a little bit worse than the Vanguard in Atmo, at least at speed. Oh, we got turrets on the surface here too. I'll have to back off for a second because there's a lot of turret firepower here. And we don't have a turret of our own. Yeah, a lot of ships you really need to add a component of pitch. Kind of do a coordinated turn. I can imagine that would on keyboard. What I like about these smaller cannons is it only takes like 1 second of pumping power. It only takes like 1 second of pumping power to weapons to get a decent charge to attack again. Scorpius definitely doesn't seem to do good against other ships with turrets in Atmo, especially when there's multiple turrets shooting at it. I actually feel like the Saber is better for a comparable weapon loadout, although the Scorpius does more capacitor charge. Problem that I find with ships with turrets that shoot at you, it's never really the one that's you're shooting at. It's always the one that's at perpendicular angles to your movement that is the one that's actually damaging you when it comes to these NPC ships. Because you can see the difference now that we're just down to 1 Valkyrie here. It's not nearly as threatening as 2. Not because of the raw amount of firepower, but it's about where they're positioned. And then there's this guy that's just sitting here doing nothing. Yeah, we took a little bit of damage there. Oh boy, is it night vision time? I'm hearing crickets, so I guess not. We got a warden. This might be the grouping of them that spawns all wardens. Oops, all Vanguard wardens. Let's get this guy, keep the others separated as possible. Actually, no, this guy's a hurricane. Yeah, that hurricane was much, much quicker to kill than the other one we tried earlier. Hi, buddy. Bye, buddy. Oh wow, the facility turrets are actually targeting him. Oh, and he's tumbling. Wow, he is really tumbling. Look at him go. Nice. I think the best thing about atmospheric bounties is when they crash into the surface. They hit the deck and they smash into smithereens. There's something very satisfying about that. F-7C Hornet. Well, those aren't too common in these bounties. At least not that I've seen. Let's see which ones want to come at us. Boom. Yeah, you can get the charge back in these things really fast. Even a second of putting power to weapons gets you a lot of charge back quickly. That's one advantage, so you don't have to worry about managing power on weapons all the time. You have to shift it back and forth a lot less. You know what? It might be cool to do. Hopefully this is a Hammerhead. It might be cool to see how this cannon loadout handles a bigger ship. Because something to remember is, sort of like what I mentioned earlier, is the sustained damage is practically identical to size 3 fixed cannons. The Scorpius is so hot, it's on fire. My puns are bad. Is that a pun? It's not really a pun. My jokes are bad. I should feel bad. I already did kill a Hammerhead in the Scorpius with the default loadout and a gunner. I'm just kind of curious as to what it might do. I'm hoping this is a Hammerhead, because some of the ERT bounties have been spawning recently have not been Hammerheads, so... Actually, I'd like to see the Redeemer as an ERT bounty as well. Guess it's time for night vision again. Oh, no, there it is. It just took a while for it to come through. Alright, let's blow past this lot and not try to tank everything at once. We'll keep them separated and try to deal with them one at a time. There's two others there that I couldn't lock onto. I don't know if that's because it's the Hammerhead that's masking them with its signature or not. Oh, there's so much turret firepower, it's crazy. At least we're getting them a little bit more separated now. And each one we eliminate gives us a little bit more freedom to operate. So, important bit about running away is your shields are not directional, they're conformal. So what I mean by that is if you're running away and they're able to hit your nose from the angle that you're at, then they'll still hit your front shield, even though the fire is coming from the rear. So you have to try to line them up when you're retreating. Otherwise, they will still get through your shields, because there's no shields there. Alright, I think we just got the Hammerhead left to deal with. You can also see there how sometimes the rear shield is taking damage even though it's facing away from the other ship. If they're heading anywhere in the aft section of my ship, it'll hit the rear shield. That's why putting power to different shield faces kind of feels counterintuitive. Fine, once these Hammerheads start taking damage too, they also seem to behave a little differently. I don't know if that's an AI behavior thing or it's because components are actually damaged. You see the turrets seem to stop functioning. Go away, stupid bot. Whoops. Yeah. One day they'll fix it. Although I did manage to take out this guy's engines, and he's having a lot of trouble on the ground right now. And I did say earlier that I like to see spaceships crash into the planet's surface. At least one side engine nacelles are completely missing for him. Definitely having trouble getting off the surface there. Is anybody dizzy yet? Finally. That was like the tankiest Hammerhead I've ever seen. I mean, yeah, Taliator would do it a lot faster, but I don't know if it would be as fun. And besides, we gotta see how the weapons perform. I am liking this particular loadout quite a bit. Simply because of the flexibility that it gives the ship. Especially if there was a turret gunner on board. The cannons, plus staggered fire, plus the FL-22s that basically act like size 3s, even though they're gimbaled size 2s, because of the slight difference in their weapon stats. You can lock the gimbal, use the gimbal. Whatever you prefer, or whatever is beneficial for the time. So yeah, I think it's probably my go-to for the Scorpius at this point. Might want to consider repeaters if you're flying it solo, though, because it already has quite the capacitor charge. But for extending what the pilot can put out, especially in tandem with the gunner, I think that might be the way to go. At least until they change things again.